This week on the Street Parliament.
When you go to the Land Use Act, you will discover that even in the property rating, you will see that 1 year is allowed in Nigeria law, according to our law in the country.
The landlord has the right to check his apartment. If it's okay, he returns the caution fee.
Okay.
If it's not okay, we use the caution fee to fix those things. Other than that, the matter goes to court, and we know how it's going to drag in court.
After asking like the past tenant, I didn't ask me before I paid. And when I asked the former tenant, they told me that the price was added.
Abuja was built to be the pride of Nigeria, a capital city with space, peace, and promise. Unfortunately, a lot of residents in this city cannot afford to live in the city that they work in because of the widening housing gaps, rapid urbanizations, high cost of real estate, and weak enforcement policies have created a deep housing deficit in the Federal Capital Territory. Today on Street Parliament, we ask, how can we make housing more affordable, accessible, and livable for all? My first question will go to you. Do you think that the high cost of housing in Abuja is as a result of demand, or is it due to personal inflation by the keymakers?
Okay, I'll say it's a mix of both. On the one hand, there's obviously the need to make profits, to maximize their profits by landlords and property owners in the city. But on the other hand, you've mentioned high urbanization rate. A lot of people have moved into the city, so demand has gone up. So, and of course, property in the more developed parts of town will cost more. So people who want to stay in more affordable areas or who can afford to stay in the city will have to move further out of town. So yes, it's a mix of both. On the one hand, the property owners want more money, but on the other hand, there's also significant demand.
But on one hand, where you have talked about people moving out to more rural areas or more rural parts of the city, what about when the urbanization catches up with them? Do they keep moving further out the city, or what happens in that case?
To be honest, in that scenario, when the area becomes more valuable, you have to move on. You have to move to where you can afford to stay. But of course, as you say, as the area is becoming more valuable, the landlords and property owners in that area will naturally inflate their prices to catch up with the
demand
in the area.
Okay, thank you. So now I would like to ask you, because he mentioned landlords inflating prices for, profits and all of that. Do you agree with that?
I think I do not agree with that assertion, because when you look at the issue of increment of rent, in especially a case study of FCT, I don't think you have to blame the landlord. I could remember in 3 to 4 years back, when we are buying the bag of cement of 2,300, 2,400. But today it's not the case. The bag of cement in the market today is 10,200 naira. In some cases, you even buy 10,500 naira in the market. And when you go to the building material today, whatever you buy today, you go tomorrow, the price it changes. So you cannot blame the landlord so much, because when you blame the landlord, whatever the landlord buy in the market, that is what is going to at least rate his property in the market.
Okay, all right. So I love your assertion on this, but I would like to ask, this is what you just said is for people who are building houses now. What about people who have built houses like 10 years, 15 years back, and yet when they see the cost of things in the market, they decide, you know what, let's repaint this house and inflate the prices to match the rate of new houses? What about those ones? Are they not inflating prices for personal benefits only?
That is why I'm saying those ones who have built 10 years ago, the major problem we are facing is government policy, whether we like it or not. In this country, we don't have a policy that regulates the housing system in Nigeria. And that is why those people who have built for 10 years, 20 years back, they use this opportunity to get what they want to get. And the big government set up a regulation that will oversee those old houses. I don't think this problem will emanate in this country.
Okay, so I'm going to still ask you one. This is an across-board question, but I would like to start with you. Talking about regulation, let's just talk about the prices of the rent itself right now and how many years landlords tend to ask for, both the ones who have old houses and the ones who have new houses. Now it has become a norm that when you go to get a house, you have to pay at least 2 years upfront, pay a number of ridiculous fees. You know, you might, when you look at the whole package, you see that a lot of things are going on. Why is that so? Is this, apart from getting government policies to help regulate, what else can be done, and why are landlords actually doing this?
I think it's very simple as that. When you go to the Land Use Act, you will discover that even in the property rating, you will see that 1 year is allowed in Nigeria law, according to our law in the country. 1 year rent is allowed. But in the case where a landlord is demanding for more than 1 year, we are not talking of lease now. Understand? It's allowed equally in lease in the property rating. So if anybody that is not willing or have that capacity to pay for more than 2 years, is to liaise with the landlord and say, landlord, I only have 1 year. Then the landlord agreed to collect 1 year. It's accepted in the law. These are the things. These are the law that we are practicing here in our country, Nigeria, and it is there in the Land Use Act 1978. It's there. If you go through the Land Use Act, those things are there. It's being spelled out. So there is rent, there is lease. If it is a rent matter, it's 1 year. If it is above 1 year, we are talking of lease in the property rating. Thank you.
Okay, what about, because I mentioned the other fees that form part of the package, you know, agreement fee, caution fee, this fee, that fee. In fact, recently I saw a whole package list where the rent for 2 years was about 3 point something million, and then by the time you add up all the packages, it was getting up to 4 point something million. Why are those fees added to the rents of houses?
I think as a profession, as a land and property business person, issue of adding all those, you go to some places, they will tell you caution fee. You will go some areas, they will ask for many fees, more than 5, 6. It's not accepted. As far as I am concerned, it's not accepted. These are extortion, whether we like it or not, and government just have to look into it to see how it will make everything very easy. By the time they set up a regulation and be checkmating those people who are adding those fees, because they are illegal according to our property law. They are illegal fee that they are paying. Some persons will tell you to pay caution fee that you remain in the house for 2-3 years, whatever their gospel you, it's not there in our property management. So please, it's not acceptable.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, please go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, and when it comes to caution fee, I beg to differ with you. If you put yourself in the situation of a landlord